we're trying to keep you up on what's happening here in our town. First of all, there was the library, and there were, they're working on the senior center, and there's housing, and Anna Houston came and gave us news about that. And then today we have George Sanders, and he's going to bring us up to date with what he knows about activities on the sewer project. Correct?
Correct, and also on affordable housing.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay. So, you know, I do want to say this, though, George. Since I've known you, you have, and that's been a long time now, you have always been trying to do things for the seniors and for the town. And I have to tell you, I appreciate that very much, because you do work hard at it, but you also look to get the right information. And that's very important. So I know that the sewer project was born as one of the desires of the master plan, and to revitalize the common. Mm-hmm. So you're a member of the sewer working group, is that correct?
Working group.
And you've been dealing with this issue for a number of years, right? Okay, so.
Okay, well, first, Barbara, I want to speak on terms of the rezoning of the 550, which is a key factor, you know, for the town. By rezoning and by the citizen and the voters here in Littleton approving this rezoning, the rezoning is the opportunity of what can be put into 550, what can be built on 550, what can be developed there on 550. And of course, one of the things that Littleton is really short on is affordable housing and housing for seniors, because seniors would like, in some cases, some of them would like to downsize and be able to move in something smaller. We have seniors that are 1 to a household, and we have 2 to a household. And it's important for the taxpayers to realize that this 550, with this mixed use on this rezone and everything, I think we have a good developer that is coming in, that he spent the money, he didn't ask for a TIF, you know, tax relief from the taxpayers to do this. They paid about $21 million for that. Projected that over now to in 24-20, it's going to be around $380 million projected to go in at 550, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what do we want as citizens of Littleton? We want what is nice for Littleton, what Littleton needs, and for Littleton to be able to be appreciative of getting a developer in here that wants to work with the town as to what the town would like to do in terms of the developer giving us this, giving us that, and so forth and so on. I think that we have a able-bodied planning board. I think they're going to stay strong. I think they're going to work with the developer, and I think they're going to ask the developer to, you know, have a attentive ear here and listen to what the people are saying and what we're suggesting, that maybe you may want to compromise with us and help us. And housing, I think, is the very key thing that they're going to work for with the developer. I don't know exactly how many residential housing that they're going to put in there building-wise, but, you know, whether it's 200 units or whatever the case may be, the fact of the matter is, I don't think that it would offset in terms of where, because we have, as you know, right from the exit of that property onto King Street, onto Great Road, we have all the tall buildings right there.
Right.
And if you go and look at the parking area, I guess it drops down about 12 feet from where the other buildings are. So height-wise, you know, you're looking at the point with the hotel over there. So, you know, going up into that area like that, I don't think that would be a problem because you really don't have residential across from King Street as you go across the park there. You got a couple of houses over there, CVS, and you got Alfano over there and so forth. But, you know, I don't think we would have a problem environmental. You know, a lot of people get into the environmental aspect saying, oh, you're cutting out the sunlight, you know, and all this. But I think that my point with the resident is that right now, last year, we paid as resident 77.5% of the budget before the adjustment took place. And that usually only dropped maybe 2 or 3 points, you know. So I would say 75% of the budget is being borne by resident. So this is a great opportunity because that property was bringing in a lot. We need more commercial to help offset. This is an ideal location to rezone and to do that. And I think that I'm asking the citizens out there, the voters, come on the 25th of October, to consider the pros and cons about rezoning there, because there is much to come with the rezoning than not the rezoning. Because if they don't rezone, then we have a problem. This property has been purchased. What are they going to do with it now? You know, if you don't help the person that come in here and buying it. Right. So I think my point to the individuals as voters, please consider, because I think it's important that we all have a part in helping to do what needs to be done. We have people in this town, there's no question about it. I think Littleton has a town of people that are tolerable. They are able to work with almost anybody that wants to come in and wants to do the right thing.
The right thing.
And that's where I think Sal is wanting to come in and do the right thing. And
you know, George, I think probably sometimes people are afraid that we say commercial, so right away it's like, oh no, what's it going to look like? You know what I mean? Because this is our small town, and then if they add commercial and housing, will it look good?
Yeah.
Will it look sweet? Because you don't want it to be, you know, just buildings
just buildings
that have no
thrown up.
personality.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think there'll be personality in the development of, I've seen 2 or 3 photos that they had back towards the end of the Westford, you know, coming up with the sidewalk and everything there. And, you know, the building structure, I mean, it looked good. It's all kind of really high as the first building in the back there. But I just think that, you know, this is a time for Littleton voters really to step forward and try to do the right thing. I don't think that we're going to have many projects that's going to be big as this. I think this is probably the last big project that we have in the town that to build. And I think that Littleton is a great place. We have great people here. We need to do something for our seniors in terms of trying to help them with affordable housing. And I think that if we pass this rezoning, we're looking to the planning board. They're the one that's going to control this developer as to what will go and won't go. And that's the thing that the people have, that we have a board that is going to do that for us. So when we voice to them to look at this or look at that, they're going to do that. So I think that's the point that I wanted to make, is that I think, this is just me, I think that it will benefit Littleton overall if they rezone this. By rezoning it, it's not saying this and that is going to come in there. The planning board is going to control that. And that's where it's important for us to put our input in to the planning board when the developer come forth on that.
And watching the planning board, the thing is, that we want to trust them to do the right thing and make it so that Littleton still looks good, you know? Because when you go towards Westford and there's so many commercial buildings, there's not really houses like here.
Right.
So you don't want to ruin that either.
Right.
You know?
And the other thing is, Barbara, I think, is that where we're talking about, we don't really have a block or segment of Littleton that's got residential housing all around it, or whatever the case is. I mean, we got 495 there. You know, we got a major highway going through on the back of this property, and very little that's, you know, on that side anyway, because you got the common area there. So we really have a location that's an ideal location to really do something there and make it look nice there. And I think that the developer and the engineers, I think they will produce something that we can be pleased with.
Yeah, so he must have had a vision.
Oh yeah, I think from the other properties that he had a vision in Lowell. So, you know, he really, you know,
does good
beat
stuff.
that place up and made it look good down there in the Mills area down there, you know.
Yeah.
But
I did hear, I mean, I don't know that much about it, but I did hear that he does do nice work.
Yeah, and to be a local, you know, on Chelmsford, you know, I think he said that as a developer, he rated number 5 in the state. That's way up on the pole there. But he doesn't boast about it, you know? He doesn't boast about it, you know? He just go in and tell the community. Another thing, as a developer, it seems to be that he's a family-oriented developer because he brought his wife and his daughter when they came to the hearing to the town about it. You don't see developers doing that. So I think this was a plus, you know, in that sense. Now,
they must keep him straight.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Now I was sort of kind of moved and said that's going to come up on the warrant first, and then they're going to talk about the sewer. They work hand in hand.
Okay.
If you don't get the redevelopment, rezoning, it's going to cause a problem with the sewer.
Okay.
Now, what I want to do is that, you know, I had some programs that I did straight talk. So now I'm bringing you up to date on straight talk to the resident of the town of Littleton.
Okay.
Good information. There's great information. We passed the rezoning, then the treatment plant over at 550 is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60% of the cost to build the sewer treatment plant. The next thing is that I'm a late owl. I do a lot of writing. I sent letters to 3 of the Massachusetts members of Congress.
Okay.
To Han, Elizabeth, and the senator there, Ed Markey.
Oh, yeah.
I said, listen, when they passed the bill on the American Rescue Plan, I told them, you reach in that barrel, in that poke barrel, and you get as much money as you can for Massachusetts and for Littleton, because we need that money. There's taxpayer money coming back. Well, Trahan, she spoke about Littleton in the House.
Okay.
So she ended up giving requests to get as much as she could, and of course the Senate approved. They gave her $3,025,000. They came direct to Littleton. Littleton got that money direct.
I didn't know that.
And they sent $5.3 billion to the state of Massachusetts and deposited it in the bank. Taxpayers' money. So the governor says, I'm going to take $2.9 billion and put it in the poke barrel in the state legislature. So now I wrote a letter to the governor and to the leaders on both parties. And I gave them what I thought was a great deal, which was to bump up the veterans benefit by 100%, and to earmark $10 million towards the sewer system for Littleton. So Senator Jamie Eldred got that, and he said, the Senate is not going to earmark anything. You're going to have to come in with your request as to what it is. But he says, I'm going to fight to get as much money as I can, for Littleton, which is great. That's what I want him to do. I told James Eldred and Jim Osorio, that's what I need them to do, is to work to get this money. So now we have an opportunity because that American Rescue money, it is identical for the things right now, and the timing is right with the 550 over here, because they're going to have to put a pumping station in over there for the sewer. And they're saying somewhere around about 125,000 gallons a day. So they're increasing the plant out to 208, which is the max for the discharge site up at the school.
Oh, yeah.
So we can get money for this sewer. And also, we may be able to get some additional money for the water treatment plant that's being built. So we have the better of the two to go in now. And once we get the plans, the way the state works most of the time is that you got to have plans. And you got to have the borrowing authority to go out and get money. And then they say, oh, you really wanting to do this, so we're going to listen to you and we're going to try to help you. So what they're going to do is wait until we get to that point. So that's why it's important that we pass this bill. Now, I told the people in straight talk, I said, listen, they're hoping it comes in according to the figures we had, and I was dealing with 27,600,000. Well, it came in a little high, but not much high, because on the smart sewer system, they had estimated 27 million. So I said, well, we're only 600,000 over. Now, based on the 27,600,000, we're only 900,000 over. So it's 28.5. So that's what we're coming in and asking the borrower is to go out with the 28.5. And I tell you, for the industry, that is low. So now, here's the good news on that side. The municipality treatment system, which you're paying for right now, that's the only thing taxpayers are going to have to contribute to. Remember I said that the commercial after the abatement,
zoning?
After the money that they give up front there, I forget the name of it right now. But anyway, after they paid that fee and whatever was left, they were going to come and ask the taxpayers one time to kick in. That's out now.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about contributing.
We were wondering who was going to be paying.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that now. The businesses are going to pay, and the users are going to pay. So the betterment fee, that's what I'm trying to think. You don't have to worry about what they pay and what they can't pay, because now with the system, as taxpayers, you're only going to pay as you're paying right now for the municipality buildings. That is all you're going to pay for. So that is great, because now we can go in and we can get money from this American Rescue Plan, which has $5.3 billion that's in the bank.
Yeah.
It's in the bank, Barbara.
Yeah. George, do you need people to write letters?
No, that money is already set there. All the cities in town has to do is come up with projects that fall into the categories that this money can be used for. And I'm telling you, the sewer system is one of them. The water system is one of them. You got education in there, and there's other things that they can use the money for. But it's money already deposited in the bank.
Okay.
And that's what the taxpayers needs to know. They need to understand that money is already there. So that's going to keep the cost down, and plus it's going to help the taxpayers, and especially the residential, with this commercial concept of rezoning there. That's going to, we always needed to get a little bit more commercial to sort of kind of lower the pressure on the residential. And, where you up at 75% paying of the tax bill on residential, that's not a good thing. So why not put some good commercial in where we can do that? And by passing that rezoning, you're going to help the town of Littleton. You're going to help taxpayers here. You're going to get an opportunity to get some of this federal tax dollars that's been sent back to the state to help with this project. And I've told Nick Lawson to also to try to get more money for this water treatment plant, because as you know, we are paying in our bill every quarter. So the more money we can get in that'll lower the amount of money that we have to pay on the water side over there. So it's a golden opportunity, and it just hits Littleton at the right time when Littleton is trying to do something here. Because one thing that we have to remember, the nitrogen isn't getting any less. The nitrogen is getting more. So once they hit a certain point, the state would tell you, you have to put in a treatment system. And the nitrogen from our septic system is going in the ground. And that's what we need to stop. So we have an opportunity to help ourselves at this time. And I have to tell you, it's coming along at a great time when there's money coming back that will help us to put in a sewer system. You can't beat it, Barbara. You just can't beat it.
Well, I know that you feel like that, and I hope that all of that it happens for you. And for the town, one of the things is part of the problem here is paying taxes and that are high, is why a lot of people can't even stay here anymore.
Well, a lot of people don't want to leave Littleton. Let me put it that way.
They don't want to leave.
And what we should try to do, if all possible, is to try to help them to stay here. And it's a project like this, which is a big project in which they're going to put housing in up there. And if you got someone that's going to invest pretty close to $400 million in a local economy, plus the cost to buy this, which will give you 401, because I think they paid $21 million for it. So $401 million is nothing to sneeze about in terms of one person coming in and throwing that kind of money in a community.
Yeah.
And like I said again, it is the planning board. Those are the people we are holding their feet to the fire.
Yeah.
And we know that so far, I have to give them credit. They've done a pretty decent job.
Good. Well, we're going to be watching all of this, see what happens, waiting for things to happen. And I'm really glad that you came today, though, to share the facts that, as you know them, and we're going to be watching. And I hope people are watching. I hope they're paying attention and thinking things over and ask questions also. And when I was with Anna, I told people to, if they want to know anything about the planning board, then go to people on the planning board.
Right, absolutely.
Don't take rumors.
And lastly, I would say that for the most part, there are a lot of people out there that are talking, some against it, some for it. You're going to hear comments at the town meeting, maybe come from officials and also coming from residents. But the truth of the matter is, we can go back and look in hindsight 2020 and say, this happened, that happened, this happened, that. The thing that we must concentrate on is now. What do we do now as Littleton citizens going forward?
Right.
That's where we want to be.
Yeah.
you know, a lot of stuff happened in this town over the years, you know, but I'm not wanting to get into any of that stuff. I'm just saying, listen, we have an opportunity now. We have people now that wants to work with things and do things and listen to you as citizens and try to provide the very best for Littleton. And that's what I'm all about, is not telling you, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, I'm just here to give information. One of my goals has always been is to advocate for seniors. Everywhere I've been, I've always advocated for seniors.
You have.
And that's been dear to my heart. And when I know information that I can pass that's good information, then that's what I do. It's just simple as that.
Good, because we're looking for it all the time. We know you have
Right.
it. So, and that you'll give it.
Right.
So, yeah, I see what you mean, and thank you for all that you do. And we'll be looking, like I said, to what happens.
You're quite welcome, and thank you for having me.
Anytime.
All right.